Hello and welcome to another update video on Ethereum. The Ethereum chart is currently still grinding higher, but that is all, within the scope of our uptrend that we are still tracking. As I said before, there is currently no evidence that this uptrend is over. We're still tracking higher prices. This is the daily chart, so I am going to show you in a minute on the smaller time frame. I'm going to show you on the smaller time frame also what the relevant micro support levels are. But I want to start the day here with a look at the bigger picture and just to explain to you what the next upside levels are. By the way, in the Bitcoin video today, I covered the ETH BTC chart as well. If you're interested, check that out. One of the reasons why Ethereum is going up as well today. But the $4,100 level is really the next critical level here to watch. You see, it's where these previous swing highs are located. And the price is approaching these swing highs from December 24 and then from March 2024. So we might get there quite directly. My message and communication was around that we should get to 4,100. And when we get to it the next time, there's actually a fairly good chance of actually breaking above this $4,100 level. And important is to recognize that if we get to $4,100, we might not break through straight away. I mean, there might be another dip or so, but we will always communicate the relevant support levels here along the way. So Ethereum's uptrend continues to unfold. I will communicate support levels on the smaller time frames. So let's take a look at those. And you see there is still some room for further upside. Looking at the Ethereum short-term chart, Ethereum has broken out of this corrective price channel to the upside, which, however, doesn't necessarily mean that we are already taking the direct path to 4,100. I mean, it's possible. Clearly, some kind of a local uptrend is unfolding. I mean, clearly we broke above a resistance level here, structural resistance, but I treat this still as part of the B wave. We discussed that in the last video yesterday. Quick explanation here. The idea is that this was an A wave to the downside. We're likely now in the B wave to the upside. And the B wave is a very complex beast. So B waves can unfold in various ways. I think this here looks very complex. So I chose to label it as a WXY structure. And then the Y wave is an ABC structure. And we might go a little bit higher. But that B wave could be nearly done. So for now, I see no evidence that the C wave to the downside has started. I would need to see a micro 5-wave decline and a break below that B wave low here as first evidence that the C wave to the downside has started. Well, no, that would be confirmation actually. And that level is around $3,605. So for now, though, in the short term, we might go a little bit higher, just a little bit higher. And I can tell you that based on the length of the wave W, because a Y wave should reach the blue zone, specifically here the area around the 100% Fibonacci extension, $3,840. That's wave C of Y target. So that's what ideally the Y wave should do. And then we can also internally measure the length of the A wave. We go to the low of the B wave, and then the 100% extension has already been reached of this nanostructure. But that doesn't mean it's necessarily done. We could go a little bit higher because the Y wave here is basically the larger degree target. But overall, the market should be nearly, should be close to completing that B wave. Maybe over the weekend we grind a little bit higher. But yeah, as I said, once we get a 5-wave decline, that could be like wave 1 of C, for example. Because remember, the C wave to the downside is also a 5-wave move. And that wave 1 of C should be a 5-wave decline, so ideally, right? So if we get 5 waves down in wave 1, that would indicate, hey, okay, wave B is complete. Let's see if we can get a corrective rally, and then the third wave down can unfold, and it should take us into this area down there around $3,470. This is where the orange support box actually starts. So it's looking okay at the moment. I mean, we're still grinding here through this, through the range, you could say. I did mention yesterday that we'll likely spend some more time in this range over the weekend. That is currently still playing out. We might even see an overshooting B wave. As you can see there, the blue zone ranges all the way up to around about $4,000. That cannot necessarily be predicted, but we kind of have to be ready for that. That's the update on Ethereum. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, I invite you to join us on X for additional updates. You can join us, check it out here on our X profile. You can find additional updates. Today I uploaded an Ondo video, for example. Some of you have asked for that. That is not here uploaded on YouTube, but there are some additional videos that you can only find on X, plus additional tips, and it's much more interactive than, for example, our just YouTube channel. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.